And we're now recording.
Don't say anything racist, sexist, or homophobic.
Let me know if you can hear the baseball in the background, because I've got it on the TV.
I've got the charity concert on at the moment.
I've got nothing on. I'm a good podcaster.
No, you're not.
I'm pretty good.
Okay.
I did the news.
You're okay. You're alright, I suppose.
Better than the other ones who didn't show up.
Yeah, no one else ever seems to show up on the show anymore, do they? I can only rely on you and...
Well, I'm sure we'd have probably got Nintendo Arcade on, but he's in Detroit at the moment or somewhere in the States, isn't he?
He is indeed, isn't he?
I think Dan said if his film was on time, he'd be here, but I guess his ads at the films.
Didn't Stunty say he might be on in a bit as well?
In a bit, yeah.
Oh, is he?
It's gonna be a whirlwind show.
Yeah, people will be coming and going. So you can't hear the TV in the background, no?
I can't hear anything, mate. Really?
Oh, that's sweet. That's all right. And is that because you're deaf?
No, because we wouldn't be able to hear you talk in the first place.
Indubitably. Right, shall we start the show? So we'll go Elliot and then you, Darren.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool, and I'm going to actually talk about my games last, so I can eat my dinner whilst you talk.
You mean I don't have to sit through everyone else's games before I get to talk?
No, you can go first,
You get
Elliot.
to lead.
Yeah.
Also,
it's a shame I don't have many games.
One of your games that you used to harp on about is actually coming out on the Xbox, isn't it?
It's out.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out
now.
But
I've got a rent. But I'm saving it.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello and welcome to Mojo Radio, episode 423 for Sunday, the 4th of June 2017. I'm your host, Mark Webb, Gamertag, PSN ID, Steam ID, Battle.net ID, fucking every ID on the PC and everywhere is Webby317. And joining me on this fine evening is...
Winner, cock dinner, Sly Armand.
And Sensei Switch.
That is it. Everyone else has abandoned us. Everyone.
The abandoned or busy. Are gonna get that joke, but God, it was worth it. Anyway,
it always boggles my mind when you tell me, when you mention the episode number. It's crazy.
That's a lot of episodes. That's more than 10 years now.
Next week is going to be 424, which is the same backwards.
There you go.
Oh,
spooky. So the show's going to be a bit different this week because I'm not going to go first because I need to eat my dinner. So, very professional. I'll make sure my mic is muted while I'm
Unless you need
away.
to chip in.
Unless I want to chip in, then I'll be spitting food. I go, no, that's right, that's wrong, or whatever. So, we're going to start off, obviously, as normal, what we've been playing. So we'll start off with Elliot, who we haven't spoken to in a little while. Go for it.
Okay, so first up is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which Webby and I have talked to death between the various episodes we've been on. It's got some updates. I haven't been on it since they added the update the other day, or at least I haven't seen the new vehicles and weapons, but they've added a new rifle and I want to say they've added a new bike, and they've also added the ability to do stunts in the air on the motorbike, which is pretty cool. So they're always still adding content to this game. It's got a bit of a life in our community now. We've had squads of 4 or 5 of us jumping into the squads mode, and it's still good. Webby's absolutely awful at it.
Bastard.
I was baiting him. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've still been playing it a lot. I don't know what else I can really say about it, really. I know we've talked about it to death, but it's still one of those games that I go on to almost every single day. Just on my own a lot of the time, just have a couple of rounds, and it's just good fun. It really, really is. So, if you've got a PC, I implore you to pick it up. You can actually get it on CD keys for £18 at the moment, which is pretty good. So,
I paid more than that, so it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Does it run as a standalone? Then you don't need.
No, it's just a standalone game.
Oh, it is a standalone. Yeah.
Yeah. It's its own thing.
Yeah, they're adding 2 new maps in the future. One's going to be the same size as the current one, and one's going to be like a quarter of the size. Which you think 100 people crammed into that's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think they've improved it a little bit, because I've not been getting as many issues with the game now in regards to lag, or it just being a bit.
Oh yeah, there's definitely been
stuff.
a frame rate bump. I've definitely got a better frame rate.
So yeah, I don't know what else we can add about this game that we talked about before, but it's just a really, really fun experience with the big map, and you're dropping in with 99 other people, and the last person alive wins, and it's just, you come out of the game with so many different stories of what's happened along the way, and when you're playing as a team as well, it's just more hilarity, really.
There's like a group of like 5 of us in the Discord who play it now, which is amazing. I never thought it would get that kind of life in our community. I was expecting it to be me and you all the way, but we finally got some players on it. We've got there's a guy called Turner, there's a guy called Wes, there's a guy called Two Rooms, and they're all pretty good at the game. And it's always fun to play with them. There's actually a good clip I recorded the other day where I massacre 3 of the enemy team with a shotgun, while Two Rooms is just down on the ground, and he's screaming, get me up, and I'm just shooting the guys down, and then Two Rooms bleeds out, and I'm like, it was worth it.
Well, not only that, you'd have probably been shot in the back while you were getting him up.
Yeah, well, there was 3 of them, and they were trying to charge me, and I guess I was the only one with a gun, because they were just trying to punch me to death, so I was just like blasting them with the shotgun. Oh, it was fun. But I actually had to like go, oh shit, back up, because I was just getting hit so much while trying to reload my shotgun. But yeah, so good game. Looking forward to seeing what they add to it. It's got over 2 million players now. It's huge. All right, so next I'll talk about Prey. I've gone back to it. I'm still moving through it. I'm taking it a lot slower than I usually take games, but I've entered a place called the Power Plant. From what I understand, it's towards the end of the game, so I'm getting there. Still enjoying it. It's still ridiculously difficult. I'm finding that I just have no ammo, no suit repair kits, and no med kits at all. And every section of a level is just run for the door. Switch. How are you doing with it?
I haven't gone back to it in a while, actually, to be honest. I'm sort of trying to clear some of the other backlog before I sort of give it my full attention, because I feel it's one of them titles that if I don't sit there and give it my full attention, it'll just be one of those so-so games. But if I really sort of focus on it, I will probably enjoy it far more.
I say the story's really good. Like, it's well written.
I haven't actually bumped into any of the other crew members as of yet, but I've sort of been given the goal of what the gist of the game is and what to do, sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I like that it's like Dishonored in some regards, where you get all these side missions, and you pick which ones you want to do, and it influences like the game. Like I ran into a chef, and he got me to do a series of tasks, and that led to like me skipping a section of the main story and doing it in a different way. And I thought that was really cool. Just brought me back to Dishonored, which I've played this week. I'm not going to talk about it. I've talked about Dishonored 2 quite a lot.
I just want to chime in that I've played some Prey.
Yeah, go on.
I played it today on Sly Ullman's copy on our Steam share. It's really weird, because when I played the demo, I didn't really enjoy it. I played the demo on the Xbox, and I didn't finish the demo. It just felt a bit rubbish to me. I can't explain why, but I thought, you know what? I've got the game here on the Steam share. I'll give it a proper go. So I've gotten further than the demo, and I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. The only thing that I don't like about the game is that I'm playing it on easy, and it's still mega hard. Like, I've died quite a few times, and that's on easy. Like, the enemies are just so overpowered. And you get very little ammo as well, so you end up having to just smack them with your wrench, and then they just kill you in a couple of hits.
It's the suit durability. Once that goes down, it's like the suit repair kits are so few and far between. I mean, you probably later on in the game you'll probably find like a schematic to be able to create them yourself or something. I'd imagine, but up till now, you sort of like once your suit durability has been tamed down, you're going down in like 2-3 hits. Like sometimes less if you're up against the big boys that use like the psychic abilities and like the burst sort of powers and stuff.
They're everywhere in my game now. Like towards the end of the game, they're just everywhere. I run into like less mimics than anything else. Like I run into like an occasional mimic, except today.
That's sort of good because
I wandered into a room and every item in the room was a mimic.
Oh.
I literally walk in, the door shuts, and I go, "Hey, look, there's a bunch of like neuromods over there." And then I'm go, "Wait, this is a trap, isn't it? Oh, it's a trap." And then it was just like 12 mimics on me.
It's crazy. Like you're at the beginning of the game and you're just getting swamped by all these enemies. You're like, "Oh my god, I've only got this wrench. What the hell am I supposed to do?" And you're just legging it away.
It gets a bit
one thing
easier
I am
when you get the
impressed
glue gun.
with is the graphics are absolutely stunning on this game. They really are. I just wanted to put that out there. It's a very good looking game on all platforms. So, but yeah, especially runs silky smooth on PC. So yeah, awesome.
I just want to say about it's like the level design's really good as well because you can cross that space station in like 5 different ways.
Yeah.
Like, there's the main elevator. There's like the airlocks which let you like loop around, and then there's like the glue gun which you can go up to upper floors just by climbing over the glue. It's a very, very cleverly designed game.
The amount of times I've literally sat there, I think, in that game as well and gone like, I want to get up there, but I can't be bothered to figure a way out. I'll just do a save file here and go up like bit by bit with the glue gun. Obviously, it's proper trial and error, and there's a fair few times I'll fall down again and have to sort of climb back up. But it is actually like doable in that way, and it's like quite impressive that they've built it like that. So you obviously got my Gluey McGlueface reference last episode, then, Sly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you come across him yet, Webby?
I have no idea what you're on about.
You'll know when you see it.
I know what you're talking about. Have you encountered the nightmare yet?
No, I've literally started getting. It's mainly like the phantoms. I think I've come across two of the types of the phantoms, and they're mainly question marks. So I'm guessing they're just like because I don't know the types they are.
So the first week the game came out, when I came on here and started talking about it, I mistook what the nightmare was. I thought these like telepaths were the nightmare. Oh boy, no, the nightmare's something else. The nightmare's like 8 times the size of a telepath.
Oh, is this the like big bad
really
that'll pursue you through the game if you're too aliened up, sort of a thing with your abilities?
He comes after you anyway. He comes after you regardless. But yeah, so you get a timer for 3 minutes, and you can either evade him for 3 minutes, and that like gets rid of him for 20 minutes, or if you can kill him, you get rid of him for half an hour.
Oh, only half an hour?
It's not guaranteed spawn, but it's just like a safety net. Like you're safe for half an hour. But if you evade him, it's 20 minutes. A good trick for that is to just go through a loadable door and just sit on the other side for 3 minutes. That's what I did.
I will say one thing that we should actually praise this game for, actually, thinking about it. There's no season pass.
Yeah. It's a nice self-contained story. They're not already pushing DLC. If they do, at some point, I'll probably buy it.
I'm surprised I haven't heard of any DLC for Dishonored 2, considering, like, obviously the first Dishonored game had 2 very pretty good substantial pieces of DLC.
I'm still holding out hope. I bought that game again. I'm enjoying it too much. I'm currently doing a Dishonored 2 no powers playthrough full stealth. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. This might be weird, but are you sort of like moving in and out from where your mic is because you're sort of going quietish and then?
No.
Better.
Oh, that's
I'll just put it there.
Yeah.
Oh, wish someone had said something earlier, but there you go.
Well, you're sounding good. But I just want to say that Dishonored 2 is £9 in Tesco's at the moment.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw you tweet.
Buy 4 copies. Buy one for you and your 3 friends. Seriously, that game of the year 2016. Anyway. All right, I'll move along. Walking Dead: A New Frontier Season 3, Episode 5 came out. That was the finale. So if you play them all in one go, you can actually play them now. So obviously, spoilers, I guess. I'm not going to talk about it. Good game. Enjoyed the direction they chose to go with. Enjoyed all the characters. It's just another Walking Dead season. If you like Walking Dead Season 1 and 2, you'll like Season 3. That's as brief as I can get with it. And if you like achievements, you can get an easy 1000G or a platinum trophy. You guys haven't played it.
I saw that there's like I'm sure I've seen like recently like a Telltale bundle they're doing of pretty much every Telltale game, like in a bundle, like including like all the Walking Deads, like Wolf Among Us,
Yeah, they've been doing that bundle for a while. I don't think this one's in it though, because it's an older bundle. It's got everything. Right. I want to say it's got everything up to like Tales from the Borderlands. It's got like most of them. But yeah, they usually put that bundle on sale at Christmas for like a ridiculously cheap price. So if you haven't played any of the Telltale games, I would advise just wait until December and you'll get them all for like 25 quid. It's something ridiculously cheap anyway.
Is the Batman one still going, or did that wrap up?
Oh, that finished. Good game. Enjoyed that. Anyway, so I've played Tekken 7 this week.
So have I.
So I was gonna say having never played a Tekken, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's say I haven't played a Tekken. Basically, it was at my friend's house last night. We were having drinks, and then one of them had Tekken 7, so we booted it up, and I made the rule we always have to have random characters because I didn't know a thing about Tekken. And then I discovered that all my friends are button mashers.
Excellent.
Yeah, I still won a few, but I lost a fight just because he was spamming the square button.
It's not really a button mashy type of game, though, to a certain degree.
Yeah, I was doing
with certain characters,
square, triangle.
With certain characters, you can get away with it.
Characters look good, the maps look good, it played well. I don't know enough about Tekken, I'll let you talk about it, but I thought it was a good fighter.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I've been like thoroughly enjoying it so far, to be honest. And like it's got like a sort of like quite a substantial story mode that I've sort of noticed that sort of mocks, I suppose, in a sense, a similar thing to what they did with Street Fighter, where you get like these elaborate long cutscenes and then go into a sort of like a fight against the AI or whatever, and then it will move on with the story to sort of like the next scene. It's basically seems to be sort of like continuing stuff on from some of the other games and maybe retconning a few other bits and bobs here and there. But I haven't done too much of that, to be honest, because sort of like you sort of stuck playing as certain characters, and I wanted to try out some of the new fighters that are sort of like making their debut in this one. So we've got a couple of new ones. I can't remember their names entirely, but we've obviously lost a few of the other characters that was in some of the previous games, which I have seen there is actually a season pass for this game. So it looks like they're possibly doing a bit of a Street Fighter and going to add other characters as DLC a bit later down the line, which is a bit cheeky, especially if they are like some of the characters that have been axed from this one from previous games. It plays really well. It's pretty similar to Tekken. I will say I still way prefer my 2D fighters to 3D fighters. They just like there are times when I'm playing Tekken, it just feels, I wouldn't say clunky, but just not as fluid as like a 2D fighter is. Like I've found it really hard to actually even get like a perfect in this one, because you'll just end up getting like slapped by like a random little light punch or something that just comes out of nowhere and like knocks you out of a special move or something, or just taps your foot as you're walking around. But yeah, I tested out the VR mode because on the PS4 it's got VR compatibility. You've got two options on it. You've got basically like VR Battle, which basically puts you in like, I think it's like the Endless Horizon map, I think it is, or something. And And basically, you can just fight against another opponent in this mode and sort of like move the camera around and stuff like that. So it's sort of like two characters playing out, sort of like a battle in front of you. And the other one is like a VR viewer, which is basically you can go in and look at all the different character models from the game itself. Because in Tekken, I think it's since like Tekken 5 mainly. You've basically been able to sort of like semi-customize your character in a sense by doing certain game modes. The main one for it in Tekken 7 is known as, like, I think it's treasure mode or something. And every time you defeat an enemy, you'll get like a treasure chest that will give you like a random customization item or like fight money. So they're doing the sort of like fight money thing, which I think Tekken did before Street Fighter anyway, if memory serves me right. And with that, you can buy like new accessories, new hats, new jackets, and just basically like make the character a bit more personal to yourself or whatever, or give yourself a bit of an online identity when you're actually sort of like playing the game. And obviously, the further you get through the treasure mode, like with consecutive wins, etc., you get more like treasure chests possibly drop, and like you go up against harder opponents. It's got the same like Kunimite system, I think it's called, that a couple of the previous games have, where the more you use a character to a certain degree in certain modes, the harder the game becomes, because you're going up against other characters that are the same sort of like belt or rank as yourself, or even higher. So obviously, if you want to promote yourself from, say, I don't know, seventh queue to 6th queue, you'll have to at least beat someone who's sort of like that rank or higher to earn the promotion for it. But if you like fighting games or Tekken in general, I don't think this is going to disappoint in the slightest. It sort of like seems a bit more slicker and sort of tuned up, and the graphics in some places look really nice. I will say the cutscenes in the story mode some of the times look worse than the actual in-game graphics, which is quite bizarre, to say the least.
Yeah, just looking at a video now, and it looks really slick. I mean, I've not played a Tekken game since I think it was Tekken Tag Tournament on the PS1.
I think that Tekken Bowling.
That was literally the last Tekken I played, and I remember I used to play as Eddie Gordo all the time just to piss my mates off.
he's still in it.
Oh yes, does he still do that same annoying move?
Well, all you used to do is mash the kick buttons alternatively, didn't you? And off he went. He was like on autopilot from there on in.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, the other girls disappeared. There was like a female version of him. I didn't see her like when I was like flicking through the list, but who knows?
Fair dues.
But yeah, if you're a Tekken fan, pick it up, grab it. Seems pretty great. It is weird that obviously Akuma is in this game, and he still has his sort of like Street Fighter sort of moveset to a certain degree as well, and he's got his sort of Raging Demon finisher as well, because I think they started in Tekken 2 Tournament 2. Like, your characters now actually have sort of like seminal sort of super moves that they can actually pull off. In this, it's known as like a rage meter. Like when your character's taking a lot of damage and they're really low on health, they'll like flash red. And most of the time, it's a simple button combination. It's not like super like double rotation and then like these 3 buttons together. It'll be something like you can just push R1 on the controller, or it'll be something like back and like left and right punch together, and your character will do like a sort of super move that's a bit more flashy than the regular, and you get a little cutscene type thing, and then off you go. Yeah, it's good because obviously I think Tekken was one of the games that didn't really ever have like super special moves and stuff for its characters. It was mainly just down to their standard movesets. But yeah, sorry, Elliot.
Yeah, no, that's right. No, you definitely know more about the game than me. I just play with a bunch of drunken button mashers, and we had
That's
no
the best way to play it, though.
Yeah.
See, Tekken for me, like back in the day, it was one of those perfect games where you go around the mate's house, you'd all be sitting there drinking, and you just pass the controller around doing like winner stays on, or
yeah, that's what we did.
Making up your random own rules and stuff, and then laughing if someone got like Panda or Kuma or someone like that.
Wow, are you describing my night? Were you there?
Oh, right,
This is exactly what happened. someone got the bear with the fish, and they slapped me to death with the fish. There's literally a character that's a bear, and his super is a fish. And then there's the panda, obviously.
Yeah, there used to be like a dinosaur and a kangaroo as well with
Oh
boxing
my
gloves. Roger and Alex, but I don't think they're in this one.
Oh. Anyway, it was enjoyable. All right, so 2 more things. So this week I've purchased a Raspberry Pi, which is a mini computer, and I've put emulators on it, and I've been playing some SNES games and some PlayStation 1 games.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Could have done it on a PC for so much less.
Yeah, you could have done, but
I wanted to do it on the TV. I want to have that, and my PC is a bit big. Plus, it's portable, and I can take it with me. Anyway, so on the SNES, I've played. All right, technically, I played Tekken 3, so Tekken 7's not my first Tekken game. I played Tekken 3 like a day before. I played a little bit. I did like 1 or 2 fights. Yeah, it was decent. I played. Oh, what did I play? I've got a list somewhere. I played Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. I played Super Mario World. I played. Oh God, what else I played? I played Mario Kart. Yeah, maybe I should have written them all down. I played quite a few. I'm trying to think what else. Anything standing out? Oh, I tried this game called Super Star Wars. Didn't know that was a game, but apparently it was.
Yeah, it's like, I think
Super
one of
Star
the.
Wars.
Yeah, I did back in the day. I didn't really ever get past the first level. It was the one where you're like trying to climb up the sand crawler. I think I kept falling off and just thought, fuck it.
Yeah, well, I think you and I had the same experience with that game. I played through the entirety of the Spider-Man game on the PlayStation 1, which was one of those games I played a lot as a kid, and I thought, I'll go back to it. I remember it being quite difficult, and I beat it in 4 hours, just like in one sitting.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were really up on that when it came out, weren't they?
Oh man, I love
Is that the
game.
one? Is that the one where at the end of the game you're basically doing like a fight around the Statue of Liberty, or was that the second one?
That might be the second one. I don't think I ever finished that one. I've started that one the other day. First one, you're in an underwater fortress. Oh god, the last mission though, like I remembered pretty much everything about that game until like the end, and then it's like the boss becomes absurd and it becomes a runaway chase sequence for 5 minutes, and I completely forgot about that from when I was a kid. But yeah, so I was playing with the DualShock 4 because it's Bluetooth with the Pi, so it works pretty well in PS1 games. But yeah, so I was playing the SNES games. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, I just remember having, like, I did have an emulator on, like, an old tablet, Android tablet, and you could use, like, a mini USB cable, and you could hook up your, like, PS3 controller to it.
Yeah.
And use that. Because obviously using, like, touchscreen buttons on emulators and things like that on phones and stuff is terrible.
I've also downloaded, I'm trying to think what else I've downloaded. I've downloaded a couple of N64 games. I haven't played them yet because I'm trying to... there is an N64 controller with a USB, but I don't want to buy it. So I'm trying to get my 360 controller to work as an N64 controller, and I've almost got it going. But if I can get that working,
Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo thing.
Yeah, I did play Super Mario World. Yeah,
because that still looks amazing.
Oh yeah, it's great. I had good fun with that game.
Like the art style and the colours and everything on that game, it will look timeless for years.
I say it's great because it came with 2 SNES controllers, so I was just playing it like it was intended. It was pretty nice. Yeah. What else did I play? I played a bit of Crash Bash on the PlayStation 1 to get me in the mood for Crash Bandicoot remasters coming out this month.
So have you got the Raspberry Pi 3 then?
The
latest one. Oh, right, cool.
The one with the built-in Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, yeah.
Yeah, because I've got a Raspberry Pi as well, but mine isn't powerful enough to run PS1 games, but it can run everything else.
They're
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was my issue is at the moment. So basically it sets up hotkeys to exit the emulator. So for the SNES, you hold start and select, but I thought that would translate over to the PlayStation 1. It doesn't. So if I want to quit a PlayStation 1 game, the only thing I can resort to is just turning it off and on again. It's quite annoying, but I think that's user error, and I should be able to fix that somehow.
How does it work out with this, with the save game data on, say, like the PS1 especially? Because you obviously needed a memory card back in the day.
So it assumes that you always have a memory card plugged into slot 1.
All right.
So it just saves thinking it's a PS1, but it makes a little folder on the SD card, and then it just reads it like a PS1 would read the memory card. Because I had that thought.
Bloody hell, Elliot. It's like a wind tunnel going on. Like you're just blowing down your mic then.
Well, you told me put it closer.
Yeah, that's alright now. Just don't breathe so hard.
Okay.
Yeah, but RetroPie, I mean, buying a Raspberry Pi for, I don't know, I think like 50 quid, and then you can stick RetroPie on very easily, and then you can just download all the ROMs for the games.
With it. Mine came with RetroPie.
Oh, really? It's so easy to install, though, man. You don't need to get it with it already on. It's like a 10-minute job. You know, and you can buy the USB controllers off Amazon, or even just use a wired 360 controller or whatever. And it just runs really, really well. You know, I think it's a great alternative. So that's my.
I think Paul wants to join us.
Oh, does he?
Hey, he's finished trimming his bush.
I'll wrap up while he's joining. I also play a card game. I think I might have mentioned it every week. I play Coup. Basically, you play a bunch of different like diplomats and assassins, and it's a game of bluff, and you're trying to kill each other. It's just a good game to play. I'm looking to buy the expansion this coming week, hopefully.
Nice.
Paul has joined us.
Hello.
Hello, Paul.
How do you do?
Hello. How you doing?
Going?
Yeah, good. Fine.
You
enjoying.
Finished?
Oh, I've just been doing stuff around the house. Not
trimming your bush.
Well, yeah, I was trimming my bush this morning. Well, I wasn't trimming it; I was chopping it down. So, but I haven't finished that. I've got loads more, but that's boring. So, but no, I've been out anyway. I've been enjoying this lovely summer's weather that we have. That's
awesome.
Switch's favourite time of year.
It hasn't been too bad today, to be honest, and it's going to start raining tomorrow. So I was trying to enjoy a bit of it while I could. So.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, certain places today had rain, but didn't get any rain down here at all. But then we don't really get that much rain here. So how are we all doing?
Yeah, Sly's just finished telling us his games, and now it is Darren's turn.
Cool.
I won't honestly be too long, because one of the main ones I was going to talk about was Tekken, and we've obviously been over that already. Obviously, yes, the other fighting game that came out like a couple of weeks, I think it was like the week after the last episode we did, was Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2.
And here I thought you were going to say Injustice 2.
No, I have sort of passed on that one, to be honest, because there's so many sort of fighting things out as well recently. And plus they added a new character to Street Fighter 5, which I'll talk about briefly in a minute. But yeah, Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2, it basically adds 2 extra sort of characters from the previous one, a new story mode, and a few sort of extra bits and bobs. But part of me thinks, to be honest, that rather than actually be its own standalone game, this whole thing should have just been a DLC for the original. Because it literally is just sort of obviously a bit of extra storyline, the 2 characters, and all of the trophies and everything from Revelator carry over onto this one. So there's no new trophies or anything for Revelator 2. It uses like the exact same trophies and everything that the previous game did. So like when I popped it in, I was just like, hang on, is it even registered that it's gone in there? And then when I sort of started it up, I was like, oh, I see what it's done. But it just, to me, I just thought like, no, they could have done this as like a £15, £20 DLC rather than like release it as its own separate thing. Anyway, it's fantastic. If you haven't got any of the Guilty Gear games or tried them out? I know you've played the like the original Sign when that came out with me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pick up this one purely for the fact that I really enjoyed the other Guilty Gear that I own on the PS4, and I think because of the art style, they're beautiful games and they will never date. But why would I waste money buying another version of pretty much the same game? You know what I mean?
Yeah, with just extra, like two extra characters in it, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
How much is it anyway?
It was I only paid for like £30 for it, but you
really?
can if you shop around, you can pick up the original Revelator for like £10 or under.
Right,
on the
okay.
PS4. I mean, when I picked up the original one, it was like literally just a month or so after it came out, and I picked it up for like £12. It's like insane.
Yeah.
They're strange fighting games because I mean, the last fighting game I bought here, which was Mortal Kombat, I got that for about a tenner, I think it was, and I always forget I've got them. It's really weird with fighting games. It's like I've got Injustice that came free with PS Plus, and I played a little bit of it, and then I've just forgotten about it. I don't know what it is with fighting games these days. I don't know. They seem to be always at the back of my mind, and I think, oh yeah. And then like this now, like you're talking about a fighting game, I most probably fire it up tomorrow, play it for a half an hour game of some sort, and then I forget all about them and never play them again for another 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I mean, I picked up Street Fighter 5 and Marvel vs. Capcom on the PS4 a few months back, and I think I played them a couple of times each, and that's it.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that Street Fighter one on the Switch because, well, to be honest, I haven't played my Switch in about a month. So
it does seem pretty expensive for what it is, though.
Yeah, that's what put me off.
I know Dan.
You sort of basically, it's sort of like a semi-souped-up version of the game we got on Xbox Live like 3 years ago or 5 years ago, maybe, for like 15, 20 quid, and they want you to almost pay full price for it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I mean, to be honest, if I'm going to play a fighting game like something like Street Fighter, I either pull out the SNES and fire that up because Street Fighter 2 on Turbo or whatever on the SNES still looks good in this day and age.
Sorry to interrupt. You've just jogged my memory. I also played Street Fighter 2 on the SNES this week.
Hey.
It's a good game, isn't it? Still, isn't it? It still holds up well for its age. Yeah.
I'm not very good at fighting games, but I gave it a go.
But no, it's good. And then there was the other one on the PS3 because I got some of those fight sticks. I've got two of them. The fight sticks, the proper, sit on the table sort of jobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're either Hori or Mad Cats. Or
it's an
whatever.
Hori. It's an original in the box. I bought them at a car boot for 20 quid each. I remember. They were brand new. Remember that? Me and my daughter play it now and again, but I keep forgetting I've got them. Again, it's a fighting game. I forget.
That's a steal, mate. Getting them for like 20 or quid.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they were the right result. I was right place, right time to find them.
Cool. What else you played Switch?
Yeah, hold on a second. You just sort of like threw me off a little bit there and there. But yeah, I was going to say there has been like a slight sort of like resurrection of like fighting games. I think this gen, sort of like from Street Fighter 5 onwards. Actually, there's been quite a few sort of like coming and going.
What I've been noticing, which is quite strange, is obviously I've been playing my PC a lot more these days. Is Steam, like all the fighting games are coming out on Steam as well. So there must be some sort of popularity for these fighting games on the PC circuit as well.
It's because of mods and stuff, basically. Because of the mods
strange.
and stuff.
I never would have thought people would want to play fighting games on PC unless you like buy a controller specifically.
I think the people who actually play them like tournament level will play the console versions.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing, but obviously offering it up on most has done quite a bit to obviously increase the sales. Because I know Street Fighter 5 has pretty much underperformed. I'll talk about that now, but when I booted it up today, obviously I haven't ever bothered doing the online on Street Fighter because I'm just not fucking interested in proving I'm better than someone else or whatever when it comes to that type of thing. And it was like you are ranked something like 600 and something thousandth in the world. So that to me tells me they've sold like under 1 million copies of that game. And that's across both platforms because it's obviously cross-play on PS4 and PC, I believe.
Wow. That's why it's so cheap at the moment. You can buy it for 15 quid.
Yeah, I think it was to do with their like the fact that when the game launched, it had a pretty paltry character roster, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these games now, like any game, not just fighting games, any game, they'll do an upgraded version of a game that was on last gen, and they'll offer it to you for full price with half the fucking content you had on the last gen. And I don't know how they think they get away with that, to be honest, because there's been a lot of big games that I can probably start naming, but I won't, that have given us paltry offerings considering to what we got on the last gen of the same thing. But yeah, obviously you got a crap character roster. Then it was like, oh, if you want 6 other characters, we'd give us more money for the season pass. And then it's like the DLC costumes and stuff. Fine, that's perfectly fine. Like it's extra money if you want to spend it here or there, but that will put some people off. Sort of thing, just saying like constant, sort of, seeing constant like DLC and all this bits and bobs, and the fact that obviously the game launched with no single player modes virtually whatsoever. Like you couldn't even do one player against the computer when the game first launched. That was it. It was just literally do the story mode thing for each character, which literally takes like 3 minutes per character almost. You fight like 2 to 3 fights of one round against like this piss easy opponent like AI, and that was about all you could do. They're slowly clawing it back bit by bit, like with adding new characters and such. And then they added like the second season pass, which so far is like trying to think whether like I think Urine was the last one, but anyway, the newest character they've added on the season pass, because it's been Akuma was the first one, I believe. And then like Ed is one of the other ones that they've added recently. This guy's really weird to me. I don't particularly like him to use him anyway. He almost feels like a sort of like a Balrog sort of clone type of character. He's got that, but he's got no rotations or charge moves. His special moves are just 2 buttons together. It just feels weird. He almost feels like, in a sense that we were talking before, like a Tekken character. Like he controls more like a Tekken character than an actual Street Fighter character. So I sort of like used him for a bit for the sort of story mode, which obviously again doesn't last too long if you're doing like the character stories and stuff. And I don't know, I was quite underwhelmed with him actually as a character. And while we're briefly on the subject of the fighting games as well. And obviously, again, paltry offerings. The new Marvel Capcom game looks shit.
What's it called? Marvel vs.
Marvel
Capcom?
vs. Capcom Infinite.
Okay.
Like the graphics on it don't look much better than what they were on Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And we're getting almost half the amount of characters that we got. And obviously, there's no X-Men in it whatsoever. So anyone that's like a part of the X-Men universe, like good or bad, they're out of the game. That's a lot of people's favourite main characters gone right there straight off the bat. And I think there's only something like 26 or 27 characters confirmed, maybe even less than that. And you're sort of like looking down the list, and I just wasn't impressed straight away. And then one of the blokes on one of the videos I was watching when I was talking about this list that's leaked, obviously out of Capcom, because it happens all the time with games companies now. A lot of their stuff gets leaked. They probably didn't want the information getting out, but it has done so. And he started going, oh, well, some of the other characters might come back in a season pass. And you just think, when is enough enough? Like, you're giving us a shit character roster. Like, this is blatantly, obviously, going to be worse than the previous game. So why are you even making it? Because sequels should improve on, like, the game before it. Otherwise, why are you bothering? It's just a money grab. Capcom's name at the moment isn't particularly great because of the whole debacle with Street Fighter V and the way it launched and the fact that it almost launched like a beta rather than an actual full game. And now it looks like they're doing the exact same shit with the new Marvel vs. Capcom game. It's just strange.
Don't buy it. That's just the answer, isn't it?
I mean, obviously, we might get more information near the time, but it looks like it's probably going to launch this year. But I don't know. I just don't understand what some of these people, what companies are on about. Even if I was a game developer, I wouldn't be happy putting out something like that.
You'd feel like guilty as well, like Nicky's just said in the chat on the YouTube. It's like fighting games get away with stupidly expensive DLC. I mean, I know there's a fighting game that you play, Switch. I forget which one it is. I think it might be Senran
Dead or Alive.
Kagura. And
it's the Dead or Alive games with the £78 season passes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And there's like 5 or 6 of them. 5 or 6 £70 season passes for DLC, like for costumes and stuff.
Nicky Wilson did say in the chat actually about Blood Raw. I do remember Blood Raw. I've got it here somewhere. It's a really good game actually.
Oh, Bloody Raw.
Bloody Raw. Sorry, not Blood Raw. Bloody Raw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good game that was back in the day.
Mm. It just seems to me that Capcom are going to fall on their face with this. And if not, just upset a lot of people that were waiting for this game. It's almost like we'll never get another Capcom versus Street Fighter or Street Fighter X-Men versus, what was it, Marvel versus Capcom. Sorry, there's so many different games, I get confused sometimes. And then you get one come out and you're like, yeah. And then you look at it and you're like, no. But yeah, that's that. One of the other games, I'm trying to think what I've got here actually. So there has been a few things. I haven't obviously gone back to Persona. I did stick on Peach Beach Splash again this week because there was a couple of updates for it, and I'm still waiting.
Splashing one.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the VR update, and it still hasn't landed yet. So I'm a bit pissed off.
The VR update.
Yeah, they were going to do a VR update for it.
Just go on a porn channel.
I've tried going on the VR porn things, mate. They're shit. You've got to try it.
Oh my god!
You've got to have a look. You know what I mean? Like, I might as well see what this is like. Oh shit! Like, but yeah, no, they did like 2 updates. It was like version 1.09, and then literally 2 days later, it was like version 1.10. And I was like, are these the VR updates? And it's like, nah, it's just shitty tweaks to the online mode. No one gives a fuck about. Well done. But yeah, obviously the last game I will briefly talk about while I remember is Summer Lesson.
What the fuck
Summer
is that?
Lesson?
Summer Lesson.
Sounds
this
like
was
a porn
basically
game.
I'm waiting for it, mate. I'm waiting.
Is that the game with the dialogue choices that's like a movie, or is that a different game?
No, it's possibly a different game.
What's it called? Summer Loving.
Summer Lesson.
Right, okay.
Summer
Loving.
So basically, this was a launch game in Japan. The actual full lesson.
This looks dodgy already. I'm watching a video.
PlayStation VR required.
Oh god! I can see why Switch wants this game already.
Pick it up. Let's have a look. Because I've never heard of it.
So anyway, this launched in Japan basically as a digital-only game, and they obviously has released like various downloadable content for it between now and then. It's like a Bandai Namco title. And obviously, like quite a few games that we're lucky with, they will do an Asian version physical release. Now, a lot of these Asian version physical releases will contain English subtitles. And so this one did. So they did a limited run of the Asian version, which includes Japanese subtitles, and they have actually done a physical version for the Japanese version as well. Basically, this game is like a sort of like virtual reality teaching simulator where you teach a Japanese high school girl how to pass through her exams. Basically, it's very, very basic.
Does she sit on your lap?
No. The worst it actually gets, I will say, is basically you can get sort of like bonus items that give you extra XP and stuff at the end of the lesson, or give you extra events.
Is it
and
one of the events a hand job?
No.
Hand job.
And one of the items is like basically like a cake. So she'll run off and get a cake, and she'll get you to feed her, and she will feed you, which in Japan is a kind of weird sort of thing that usually only couples do.
Why the hell are you playing this?
That's as far as it goes, because it's weird and it's different, and I like trying out weird and different types of games.
Guys, it's weird. It's just not that weird.
It's not like completely strange, like fucking latex bunny suit weird or anything like that.
Well, what game's that one then?
I don't know. But yeah, this contains basically all of the DLC, 7 days, which is the full game, second fill, that sounds wrong. Day out, extra cafe scenes, and grand fireworks scene. And basically, you choose different. Yeah, you choose basically different types of lessons to give her each day. So you either work on sort of like her, basically like memory, or sort of like stamina and stuff. And you're basically sort of trying to encourage her and sort of like make small talk about stuff as well while she studies, to basically make sure that she's more into actually studying and rather than goofing off and all the rest of it. But there are a lot of weird achievements I've seen in the game for pissing her off by, like, say, like stabbing her in the face with a fork or something during that mini game, or sort of like squirting the mosquito lotion all over her rather than on like where she's been bitten and stuff like that. It's like completely weird because the game is basically sort of translated as it is now anyway, with like these subtitles that come up along the bottom of the screen. I can actually see Bandai Namco possibly releasing this in like the West at some point as well, just because they could just do it easy, just digitally, even if they didn't want to do like a physical release for it, because it's all there, the translation's done. All they'd have to do is just go, yep, that's fine, and put it out, sort of a thing. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The trophies on it seem really simple so far. Obviously, the first time I got through, I think she didn't get like a passing grade, but she got like a B grade on her test at the end, which is what she's sort of trying to work towards, because you only get like 7 days to teach her anyway, or like to sort of like try and get her up to speed on the different subjects and stuff that she's trying to study.
So yeah, weird.
There's my weird game for the month, Floods. So
that was entertaining.
Is that everything, Switch? You play anything else?
Probably have. Oh, I have. Yeah, obviously played a bit of Final Fantasy 14. At the moment, I don't know how much you know, Webby, but obviously after we recorded the podcast last weekend, or the last podcast we were on, they did a long 3 to 4 hour stream, basically showing off all of the sort of like changes and things they're going to be doing with the game. Every job now is going to have like a super gauge that you've basically keep an eye on, which lets you know which moves and stuff are available to your character at certain times during fighting. They're removing a shitload of moves out of the game. Do you remember Stone Skin?
Yeah.
Like gone. It's gone out of the game.
What?
Come the update. Stone Skin. And the same for like my character. I play a bard, and there's a move in it called Repelling Shot, where basically if you're near close to an enemy, you'll fire an arrow at them and you'll jump back, which is awesome to move out of an AoE. That is now still in the game, but all it does is jump you back. It no longer does any damage. So it's just like, why even have it in the game then? You're trying to sort of like cut skills down, because obviously once we hit level 70, we're going to get a shitload more abilities coming up for us. So they're sort of trying to trim stuff down, but every single job is going to play completely differently, basically, from what you're used to. So if you're picking up this expansion, Webby, and you start playing as some of the characters, you're going to have to learn to play that class completely from scratch, because it's going to play completely differently. I mean, one of the things you might be happy about is you play Machinist, and when you've got Ghoul's Barrel on, you can't move because you have a cast timer for your skills.
Yeah.
That's gone. They're doing away with that. They've done away with that in the 4.0. I like that on Bard personally, because it feels like you're actually pulling your bow back with some force to actually do a more powerful shot. And some people are like, oh, yeah, but you can't move around. And it's like, well, if you don't stand in the big fucking glowy red area, you're not going to get hit. And it will actually teach you to not stand in stupid places, so you'll position yourself better off for those fights, rather than running around like a circle, like Benny Hill, like people used to do in the original update. But yeah, so anyway, I've been for the last week sort of like quite up and down because obviously, yes, I'm looking forward to this expansion, but now I'm actually pissed off at a lot of the changes they're doing. And if it changes the way the game plays, it's not really the game I fell in love with
Yeah,
to a
but it's
certain
nice to
degree.
change
Because
things
it's
up
going to
every
play
now and again. You know what I mean?
it is and it isn't to a certain degree. I mean, obviously they're going to be taking a lot of feedback in. I mean, another thing just off the top of my head that I can think of, one of the guys was telling me in chat the other day. You know, like when you're a bard, you play the different songs.
Yeah, yeah.
All the songs do different stuff now. So there's no TP regen song. There's no MP mana song for mages. They basically the names are the same, but they're going to do completely different effects. And rather than just play it, you need to target an enemy and then play that song at that enemy, and then the effects of the song radiate off of that enemy like an AOE. And you need to keep changing your songs every 30 seconds to sort of like keep your combo thing going. It sounds really weird, but like that gives you a sort of slight aspect of how the game is actually sort of like trying to change in that sense.
Mm.
So I'm worried. I think they're going to still do good by it, but I don't know, when games sort of don't play the way that I'm used to and the way I like it, I'll either get pissed off or I'll be annoyed at first and then I'll just get used to it, sort of a thing. So
Yeah, I think you'll be right. I mean, I think that the thing is you've put like thousands and thousands of hours into this game, and it's that old adage of, people don't like change, but, a lot of the time change can be good. So I would, I'm really looking forward to Stormblood. I've already pre-purchased it, so I'll be playing it on the 16th. And I look forward to playing it. So yeah, it'll be good because for me at the moment, Final Fantasy 14, I've not really played it at all. All I'm doing at the moment is I log in and I go to the Gold Saucer and do, my roulettes and the lottery and log off again. I'm not really doing anything else just because I can't be asked.
Did you do the event this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think you was in there, weren't you, when I was doing it? So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but apart from that, there's literally this game needs this expansion to keep it alive because it's pretty much dead at the moment. Because my thing is, once you get to max level, there's fuck all to do. Like, unless you want to do another class, there's really fuck all to do.
Yeah.
So. That's
I will say one of the other things that's weird is the cross skills. Obviously, a lot of classes are going to lose certain cross skills. Like, obviously, we know Stone Skin's gone anyway, but Paladin will no longer be able to cast Protect because it won't be able to use that as a cross skill.
Ugh.
And for some reason, all DPSs will get Swift Song.
What? Weird.
As a skill, where you get out a harp and play a little song, which is a bard skill. So why are you giving that to other people? Like, it doesn't make much sense in that way, but we'll get used to it anyway. We'll stop going on about it because I'm sure people are bored and falling asleep,
probably.
Sort of thing. But yeah, I'll come back to you and let you know. It's obviously out. Like the 2 weeks early access started like 2 weeks ago yesterday, so
yeah,
we're not that far away from it all.
Yeah. Is that it then?
Oh yeah, that's pretty much it. That's me done. Oh, and obviously Skyforge on and off. Basically, I've now unlocked every class in that game, like through just grinding. I didn't have to pay anything or do any microtransactions or anything. So, and they have made it a lot easier to level up and stuff in the game now. But I'm starting to run out of certain like knowledge of enemies, I think it is, which is what you put into your like Temple of Deeds or something to sort of help you rank up. I'm almost run out of those, so
fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
They fix certain bitches and make others, which is weird.
All right, shall we move on to Stunty then?
Yeah, go for it.
Right. I haven't been on for a while.
I
haven't played much either. Yeah, I haven't played much either, really, to be honest, because, don't know, gaming's taken a bit of a backward step at the moment due to lots of other things going on.
That's fair.
I've played a few bits and bobs. I'll start with what I did finish, actually, first. I did do Tales from the Borderlands, which was the Telltale, pretty much the same as all the Telltale games. You just pick a certain thing, you go on to the next bit of the story. I like the Borderlands in general anyway, and it was quite a good little story. I don't know if anyone else has actually played it. Has anyone played it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Nope.
All right. Well, if you like your Borderlands games, then you're going to love this. Okay?
It's currently free on PS Plus, isn't it? I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. I really enjoyed it. I just thought the story was good, all to do with Handsome Jack, and there was just some other characters they added into, and some old characters from the original, Borderlands and Borderlands 2. It's good, well worth a play. It's pretty easy going because you just pick a certain thing you want to do. You get the odd little bit where you get an action section, but you can't really mess them up, really. I thought it ended a bit funny though. That's the only thing I will say. The episode 5 was, I don't know, I was a little bit let down.
I think they were setting it up for a season 2. I'm not sure if there is gonna be one though.
Yeah, I just thought it was sort of let down a little bit. I don't know if you had that feeling.
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
Yeah, so it was all right.
There's a really good scene when you're in Hyperion. I don't want to spoil it, but it's I can describe it as pew pew pew. But that scene was amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like a 5-minute interactive scene, but it's amazing.
Yeah, that was quite a funny. Yeah, certain section. Yeah, it's like comedy sketch of a certain style. Yeah, but no, yeah, that actually was funny. But yeah, it's all right. It's is it? I mean, some people either love Telltale games or they hate them. Is it as good as Wolf Among Us? No, because it's different. It's more of a comedy. Wolf Among Us is quite a dark sort of style. I haven't played Walking Dead season 3, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, it's good. Well worth a play. It's free on PS Plus. Give it a go.
Speaking of PS Plus, they've announced the ones for June, which I think they come out.
And one of them I'm well happy about.
Life is Strange and Killing Floor 2.
Killing Floor 2.
Yeah, well, I'll go on to that now. Yeah, Killing Floor 2. Yeah, I've got this. I most probably end up selling it now because it's going to be free on PS Plus.
You want to do it this week then, I think, before it actually goes up.
Yeah. Might as well talk about it then. Killing Floor 2.
Is that going free on PlayStation Plus, did you just say?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's a new...
I might have to resubscribe.
Yeah, me too.
Because I've let my PlayStation Plus lapse.
I never had it, so there you go.
Killing Floor 2, I mean, I was given it by your recommendation, Darren, and it's all right. It's not a bad game. You basically, the style of the game, it reminds me of like the zombie mode from Call of Duty. Where,
sort of, yeah, but a lot more forgiving.
Yes.
A lot more forgiving.
Yeah, the only thing, though, that a lot of people say it's quite like Left 4 Dead, but I didn't feel like it. Left 4 Dead, you start on a certain part of a map and you work through a certain part of a map to get to an objective at the end. And then you got like, well, if it's Left 4 Dead 2, you had like things to do like filling up a tank of fuel and putting it in the car. This isn't really this. This is like just horde mode. You just have a certain section on a map you just sit in. And if you're in with a group of other people, which you normally are because it's online, you can do. I think you can do it offline. Can you do it offline? I've never played it offline.
You can do it offline, yeah. Right, it's actually easier when the less people you have in a match, the easier it becomes because it scales the amount of enemies to the amount of players in the map.
Right, yeah, because I think it's about, you can have 6, can't you? I think at some point.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. So you can have 6 people, and basically what you'll get is you'll get a time counter go down, and then you will start a section where you've just got to sort of kill the enemies, and they can range from different style enemies. Zombie, they're sort of, I don't know, what are they?
They just call them Zeds, don't they? They're basically not short for zombies, but they are just for some reason they just call them Zeds.
Yeah, but then you have other things as well. You have these blobby things that sort of look like they're from Left 4 Dead 2, the big things,
the bloaters,
and then you got these things that are like spidery things that run along the floor.
They're tossers, mate. They're one of my most hated enemies in that game.
Right, okay.
But those and the Phil Collins, mate, they're the ones I fucking can't stand, the invisible touchers.
Oh yes, the invisible ones, yeah. So basically what happens is they will all come at you at once. You'll get in the corner, you have a counter of how many enemies you've got. Once you get it down to 0, you then get, I think it's a minute or minute and a half to move to a new checkpoint, which is basically the same. sometimes you can go down into a hole in the floor, and you go down to a basement, or you just quickly go to a docking station where you can refill your ammo, and you can do upgrades, because every time you kill an enemy, you get points, money to a certain degree, and then what you do is you use the money to build up your army of stuff you want to carry with you to destroy things. I've enjoyed it. I feel it's a bit repetitive. That's the only thing I have about it. I don't feel it's got enough depth, because the maps, I've played quite a few of the maps, and then at the end you come across a big boss, and I've had the big boss quite a few times now.
Well, yeah, there's only 2 bosses. That's one of my only downsides. You either get Hans Volta or the Patriarch, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So it's a little bit lacking in that department. If you're playing it with friends, I reckon you're going to have a bit of fun with this. But I've just played it with randoms online, because I don't know anyone else has got it, to be honest. I mean, Darren might have it, but I don't know if you're still playing.
I think Gamox 14 also has it as well.
So, but it's how long does it take to do? It's about half hour to do a whole mission, I think it is. Well, it depends. I mean, basically, when you get to you get so many waves, and then you get to the final boss, it can vary on what map you've got, because some maps are 5 waves and some are 10 waves, I've noticed.
Well, no, you set those before you go in. You can set how many waves you want and the difficulty and such, yeah.
Right, because I've never set the rooms up, so I've just jumped into a game that's running. But I've noticed that sometimes when you get to the big boss, if you're lucky, you can destroy that big boss in under a minute, because what happens is he gets his health down so low, and then what does he do? He shits himself and he tries to run off. So if you're lucky enough, you can try and catch him and you can destroy him, because what happens is when he runs off, he regains his health. So, and then that's the problem. If he starts to regain his health quite a lot, then you start to get overrun, because at first he will come out on his own, you will be attacking him, but then all the Z's will come in eventually, then you get all the other enemies will come in, and if he's regained his health, that's when you start to get problems, because you can end up getting overrun with enemies, and also because he's quite a big, large dude as well, he can really give you a pounding as well. It's good. It's a good game. It's PS Plus next, soon or whenever it is, and if you want a shooting game, which is what I wanted at the time, I thought it was great. So when it does come out on PS Plus, if anyone wants to join me for a game of this, I wouldn't mind getting some more trophies on this game, actually, because there's trophies for collectibles in the levels.
Yeah, I pretty much know where they all are, mate. I've got all of them. Yeah.
Right, yeah, because there's quite a few of them not missing. And then there's trophies for destroying the bosses, isn't there? I think there's certain ones for that. Well, there's 2 of them, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's weird is that with them giving this as a sort of like doing this as a PS Plus, to be honest, is the fact that they've recently given us like 3 extra maps anyway for free in sort of like updates within the last few months. And one of my other things I love about the game, there's like 12 classes in the game to choose from, or is it like 10 to 12 or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Whatever you do in the game, even if you jump in for one round, you get owned and destroyed and chucked back out. Everything you did in the time you were alive is constantly, you will always have. Like, you will always permanently have that XP on that class that you've earned. And you're constantly leveling them up. And when you hit levels, I think it's 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, you can choose one of 2 perks.
Yeah.
And you're not locked into that perk either. You can change them whenever you want, just not in the middle of a round or in the middle of a game. So it might give you extra damage with perk weapons for that class, or it might start you with extra shield health. Just stuff like that adds to the longevity of a game, which, like you said, it's more of a pick it up and play it for a couple of hours and then put it down. You wouldn't sit there and play this all night long. Because it would wear.
Yeah. I mean, what I normally do is if I want to play something like this, I just go on. I normally just play one map, and that's it. I'm done. Normally, because as I say, it's there's only so many zombies I can deal with in an evening. I deal with zombies all day.
Or being chased by the flesh pounds, like with their meat grinder hands spinning behind you.
So, but recommended. Well, as it's going to be free on PS Plus, pick it up. I don't know if it is coming to Xbox. It might do.
There were rumours. There were
don't
rumours
think
that
it
the
is.
developer was.
I
I
don't
think
think
the developers were going to.
Who owns it?
I don't have it.
I think it's Tripwire, isn't it? Or am I just getting completely and utterly confused? I've got it here somewhere. Let me just check. Yeah, it's Tripwire. Tripwire Studios.
And what have they done then? Because I've never heard.
They're mainly on PC because obviously this was on PC for a good year or so in like a beta form.
Yeah.
And then obviously they kept adding to it, and then once they had enough for like a complete version of the game, they put it out on the PS4 as well.
Yeah,
and
it came
then
out on
I'm
PC
sure,
in 2015.
Yeah, it looks like a PC game, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure I read that it was possibly coming to Xbox. It would make sense for them to do that anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that special about it, but it is good fun.
It's not an exclusive. It's on the PC as well. So.
And if you want it on PC, it's a tenner on CD keys.
Speaking of things getting ported to the Xbox, I was gonna talk about it in my section, and then it slipped my mind. Let's address the elephant in the room. So the culling has finally made its way to Xbox Preview. Now, I've been singing that game's praises since it came out. What is the one country they did not make it available in?
Not Australia, is it?
Yeah,
Australia,
you'd be right.
mate.
Is it your fantastic censorship laws at action again, or what?
I don't even know. I just don't think they released it. I don't know if it made it through classification at all. I'll look it up. But
why is this in the
game
preview program?
Yeah, why is it the preview?
Because it's only. No, I think it's only alpha or beta on the PC anyway.
Well, so it's going to be on that for like 10 years, and then eventually they release it. I mean, so many games that become alphas. I mean, Rust was an alpha and a beta, and I still don't think it's actually been properly released. I just think do you know what? I think they actually call these games betas and alphas because it means they can just get away with releasing it because it's not finished.
Yeah.
And just say, oh, well, you know, I mean, DayZ's the same, isn't it? That's been in beta or alpha or whatever for years, isn't it? It's just a way of saying, well, we're going to release the game. It's never going to be finished, but we'll just leave it at that because that means we can just release any old shit, even though it is.
Some games never come out of beta or alpha, do they? They just stay like it forever.
So I've just read it. Yeah, it is. I've just read that the developers actually chose not to bring it out in Australia, and they're going to eventually bring it out once they expand the servers. Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me if they keep things in alpha and beta to stop them getting into the shit like Assassin's Creed did with Unity.
It does mean they can constantly tweak and update their game without people moaning too much about it, because that's what you sign
also,
into.
they're doing a good job with Battlegrounds with the weekly updates, and they're always like posting developer logs.
Well,
at least that you're being open communication with it.
Well, it's a well-established port anyway. I mean, Armour, isn't it? That's what it's from anyway. And Armour's been around. How many years has that been around now? It's been around a while, isn't it? Armour 3.
At least 2 or 3 years, maybe more.
Might be more. I think it's more than that. Because I mean, they were saying they were going to release DayZ on the PS4, didn't they? 2 years.
Well, you're coming up. Is it this year? 4 years of the Xbox One and PS4? It really doesn't feel like that already.
Yeah. I know. Well, it's coming to the end of the PS4. They're saying soon. Another year and a half. Madness.
It was. Well, look at they've only just stopped production of the PS3 in Japan. I think this month.
Say that. PS3's ended, so that now means things will start to concentrate on other things now.
Which means they'll actually utilise on pushing the full power or the more powerful versions of games rather than like them just giving us like slightly more polished versions of stuff.
Right, I'll carry on what I was playing. That's Killing Floor. The other game I played, which is another zombie game. Jesus, I'm really doing the zombies at the moment, aren't I? And this is a game that I talked about. Well, I didn't talk about last year. I wanted to play last year because when I was doing the game sharing, but I never did play it. And that's 7 Days to Die.
Hey.
I picked that up. I quite like it actually. It reminds me of Rust.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, there's certain things about it. I mean, the only difference is it's got houses already built for you in this game, where Rust didn't really have it built for you. It's even got the plane go overhead that does drops as well. I was quite surprised. The only thing is you do wear clothes. I was a bit disappointed with that. I haven't done the online. I've just kept offline mode because I wanted to learn the game, to be honest, because there is a whole online aspect where you just end up, it's one against I don't know how many other people and the zombies. The only problem I've had with the zombies, though, is if I haven't got a gun, 7 days to die, Webby.
Thank you.
He's not listening. That's the problem.
No, it's not. That's why. When it comes to me, he doesn't listen to me.
I
anyway.
do. I was just seeing how much Killing Floor 2 was on PC, and yeah. To see.
Yeah.
Why 7 days to die on PC is cheap.
He won't like
I'm not
that.
buying any more games. I've already spent enough money on games.
Fine, borrow it off of me. I've got it.
No, he won't like it. I guarantee he won't like it. I quite like the thing with 7 Days to Die. You think about it, it's like a Minecraft style game where you've got to build things.
Oh, sounds shit already.
Yeah, there we go. See, that's you done. So you got to build things. So basically, you got to build. You don't need to build a base, but the house that you can take over will not hold the zombies out of it. So you need to start building bases. You need to make food. You need to do stuff like that, and then you do a bit of adventure. Looking around, seeing what you can find. Chopping down trees, that kind of thing. I quite like it. The only thing, as I was going to say, is the zombies. I've come up across a few zombies in the game where I've tried to attack them, and they always seem to get a couple of swipes on you, which really annoys me. It's like, you try and run in there and give them a quick slash with your whatever you've got, like an axe or a baseball bat or something. But they always get one. It's like, catch you on the arm or something, and half your health drops, And I need to do a bow and arrow and try and sort of see if I can take them from distance, because the problem is if I haven't worked out how to do that, when I start to do the online aspect, I'm gonna come across someone that's bloody really good with bow and arrow, and they're just gonna shoot me from a mile away, So graphically, it's better than what it did look like. I mean, I remember seeing when this came out, and this looked awful, looked garbage. It's better. It's not brilliant. It's still, PS3.
What are you playing this on? PS4.
PS4, yeah. So, it's all right. I got it quite cheap actually. So, and I jump into it. I'm on. I don't know. It says 7 Days to Die. Is there a? Does it? I'm up to day 4 at the moment. Is it? Yeah. Is that the deal? Once you get to 7 days, the game ends, or what?
No. So it's like the way I describe it is New Game Plus. It's like it keeps going after day 7. You hit day 8, but it becomes like it's day 1 again, but it's harder. And the idea is you go as long as you can. Like I know people who've gone up to like day 25 or whatever.
So So as you're going along, because what I've noticed is that it doesn't happen every day. But it seems to happen after I've done something in the game, like, I don't know, I've crafted something or made something that's a bit different, or my skill level's gone up.
Yeah.
And then, there seems to be more zombies start to appear.
Yeah. So I haven't played loads, but from what I've been told, the more you level up is like the more the zombies come after you, which is kind of like the prey thing with the upgrading yourself. If you upgrade yourself too much in that game, then all the mimics come after you. So it's a similar thing. So the more you upgrade yourself, the more enemies come after you.
Right, okay. But I mean, it's a good little bit of fun. I haven't played it. Again, this is another one I really should play with some other people as well at some point, because you can just have people jump into the game if you want to allow that. Or you can jump into other people's games. I know there's someone, Vacant Monkey, on PlayStation. He's got it, and I did say I'll jump in with him at some point, but I haven't seen him on since, so to play it with him. But it's all right. I don't think you'll get this really cheap though. I don't think this will ever be a PS Plus game, because it's too janky, to be honest. Because people will moan, wouldn't they? So, but it's all right. Next is something a little bit retro. And it's something very retro. I fired up my Commodore 64.
Now, I
Old
thought I was
school.
going to play the oldest game this week.
Yeah, well, basically, I'm that old, before the war. There used to be a console called the Commodore 64, which was the greatest console ever. Fuck you, Spectrums. The Commodore 64 came out in 1982. I had one my dad bought on when it first came out. It was my first ever computer, and I loved it back in the day. I used to do what most probably like what people are doing today. I used to have millions of games. I learned how to copy games. Commodore was not that easy.
All you needed was a double tape.
No,
you
didn't. That's just a VIC-20 you put on the screen. Sort it out, Webby.
Oh yeah, it's a video for Commodore 64, man.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, the Commodore was a little bit different to the Spectrum. The Spectrum used to be able to just use an audio tape. Commodore, you couldn't do that. You could, but it never always worked. So
see, disadvantaged already, mate.
Yeah, you are disadvantaged. So what I used to do, see, is you could buy this special adapter you plugged into the back of your Commodore, and what happens is you put one of your Commodore 64 tape deck into one side, and then you have another Commodore 64 tape deck coming out the other side. Now, I only ever had one Commodore 64 tape deck, so I used to have to go around my friend's Ruin's house, and I used to nick his tape deck, which eventually he got really pissed off at me because I used to have it for like months, and he could never play any games. Because what I used to do back then is used to rent tapes. You used to get a mail order thing, and you used to put a check in the post, and they send you a tape. And then what you used to do is you used to get the tape here. I used to copy it from one thing to another thing, and then I used to send it back to them and get another tape. God, the glories of the days then, eh? As I say, I've got fond memories of my Commodore, and I've got quite a lot of tapes laying around. So I fired it up the other day, and I haven't fired this up for quite a few years. I then spent most probably an hour trying to get a game to work. We complain about updates today, but nothing compared to tapes. I couldn't get any fucking games to load. Every game spent 10 minutes loading, then come up with error. Does not work.
Don't stick on Operation Wolf, mate. That take about 24 minutes to load. That did.
So in the end, I thought this is a joke, and I've got 3 tape decks here, right? And all 3 tape decks would not load any games, right? So in the end, I went on eBay and bought a brand new tape deck. This is how dedicated I've got to this thing now.
Oh my
God! And you can actually buy Commodore 64 tape decks brand new. They're not. Wow. They're not made by Commodore. They're made by some other company in China. They basically look exactly the same as a Commodore 64 tape deck, apart from they don't say 64. They just say Commodore on them. They were 25 quid for a tape deck. Got it home here, fired it up, and guess what? It only loaded a game.
Oh,
yeah. So after 10 minutes, I loaded up a game. I can't remember what the game was now, and I thought
Wasn't
it was
Rambo?
No, that was later on. That was. So I loaded up a game, and it was absolute shit. So I turned it off, and then spent another 10 minutes trying to load another game, and then I got to Starquake, which was Steve Strange or something or other. Or Alex would know who it was, and I ended up playing it. I never played it back in the day, actually, and I quite enjoyed it. And then I loaded up Commando, and again, really enjoyed it. I then loaded up Green Beret. I forgot how hard Green Beret was. Green Beret's quite hard.
Green Beret was nails, mate.
Yeah. And then I loaded up Rambo, my holy grail, Rambo. And I forgot Rambo only gives you one life. So it's like, if you get halfway through the level of this camp and you die, that's it. You haven't got a save checkpoint or whatever.
Save points back to the very beginning.
That's right. So I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So this wasn't just the start of my story here, the Commodore. It gets worse. I went on, I've known about these for a while, but I didn't really do a lot of research on them. But I found out that you can actually plug a unit into the back of your Commodore 64 and you can play off an SD card. So I bought this little thing that looks like an old Commodore 64 disk drive right? But what it's got on the front is it got a little slot, and you put a SD card in the front of it. And what you do is you load this program up, which basically loads like a disk drive file, and then you go into it, and it will give you every game program, well, to a certain degree, that was on the Commodore 64. Now, the difference is this loads things in most probably triple the time as what it used to do on tapes, and it will load the thing as well because it will work. So I went into it, typed in Beachhead, loaded it up, and ended up playing Beachhead. And I actually finished Beachhead, finished the game, because there was little options that you could change on it. You could give it infinity lives. So I ended up finishing Beachhead, and it's only taken me 38 years to finish it. So
longest time ever.
That's right. But there's lots of other things. There's stuff like I'm seeing on the screen here, Elite. There's all these kind of games. But because I've got this little SD card that's brilliant, it's fully loaded with all this stuff. I mean, I bought a 16 gig SD card, and this thing's most probably got, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 games on this SD card, and I've only done not even 2 gig. So it just tells you how much memory they used back in the day, which was hardly nothing compared to what they use today.
I think you and I have had similar gaming experiences this week, because you're describing almost what I bought this week.
Yeah, but I mean, if any of you out there that are into the old, computers and stuff, I don't know what it is, but there's something about playing something that's old, that's quite, retro, and it's, hoping it's going to work and stuff like that. I mean, I've been playing around with the joystick ports, trying to get a joystick to work. I don't know. It's a bit like you, Webber, when you're taking your PC apart and changing little bits and bobs on it. I'm playing around with just programs and stuff on old basic Commodore 64 programs and stuff, and it's quite good fun actually. I mean, I actually pulled out a Commodore Amiga. I never had one back in the day. Once I had the Commodore 64, I stayed with the Commodore 64 till I got the Mega Drive really. And then I drifted away anyway for quite a while, and it was like I missed all of the Amiga, because the Amiga was the whole, it was the holy grail to a lot of people from the Commodore era. But the problem is I've got 2 Commodores that I picked up here from the car boot many years ago, and I fired both of them up, and both of them have got bloody faults with them. So I've actually got them in bits. I've actually taken them to bits to try and fix them. So, and I quite enjoy that, actually, taking things to bits and try and work out how to fix it and changing capacitors and stuff like that, really. So, what's happened to me?
Turn into a PC nerd. You just need to build a PC now.
No, I'm not going to do that. But, no, it's good fun. But as I say, anyone out there that's got an old Commodore 64 and you fancy running old programs but don't want to use tape decks, I mean, as I say, I've got this new tape deck here anyway. I did pull out some games yesterday. I found another box in my storage locker that I'm trying to empty at the moment. I actually pulled out Platoon, that's on tape that I don't remember, and Dizzy Collection.
Oh, Dizzy is the best.
Yeah, and it's got them all on it. Dizzy Fast Food, Dizzy Fantastic Worlds, and Dizzy
Treasure Island Dizzy, mate.
Treasure Island Dizzy was the best.
Yeah, Treasure Island. Yeah, I didn't realise there's 5 of them on here. So it's a nice big box as well, actually. But yeah, I'm going to fire them up on the tape deck. The only problem is, as I say, is when you do use the tape deck and the thing is crap, you spend so long trying to wait for things to load. I mean, we complain about the updates on the new stuff, but at least you know it's going to, normally works on the new stuff. So, but yeah, it's fun. The only thing is I'm having to use the joystick, which is like the big upright joysticks. I want to work out how I can get to use, because you got to think we all use gamepads, don't we now? Sort of, a D-pad on one side and then just buttons on the other side. We didn't have that in the 80s. We all had big, huge joysticks that look like, they come out of the arcades.
With one button, usually.
With one, with one fire button. So
Quick shot too.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you can buy them with USBs and plug them in with USB.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to do, because a few people said you can use Mega Drive controllers, but then I've heard a few people also say, don't use the Mega Drive ones with the Commodore 64 because it can blow one of the PCBs inside. I've actually got quite into this. I've even joined the Facebook groups for the Commodore 64 groups, you know, to find out what's going on in the world, you know. So, and it's quite entertaining, actually. I found out that actually, if you put your fingers on the control port on the Commodore 64, you can actually blow the PCB inside, which I never knew you could do that.
Well, I'm not so sure, because I had an Atari ST when I was a kid. I was one of those, and I remember using a Mega Drive controller with my Atari ST because the pins were the same.
Yeah, they are the same,
yeah,
aren't
and they
they?
worked. Yeah, and it worked.
I've just heard mixed reviews. People say, oh, yeah, it does work with the Commodore 64, or some people say, well, no, it doesn't. I mean, the best bit, if you're going to plug it in and try it, is plug it in when it's off. Don't start plugging it in while it's on, because you put pressure problems on it anyway. I'm going to do a bit more research before I blow my Commodore 64 to bits. Saying that, I did find another two of them in the garage. So I've now worked it out. I've actually got 6 Commodore 64s laying around.
Wow.
I thought my SNES connection was bad, and I didn't realise my Commodores had got worse. Jesus Christ. It's amazing how much stuff I keep finding. So I found another 10 NESs.
You're
So
such a bloody hoarder, I tell you.
10?
Yeah, 10. They're all in a box. I don't know.
Jesus wept.
Yeah, well, they're just consoles. There's no leads, nothing with them. I think I know what it was. I think years and years ago, when I used to do the car boots, you used to find stuff at car boots, and you used to find lots of stuff at car boots. As in, you used to come back to your car and you used to have a car full of stuff. And you used to buy Mega Drives, Dreamcasts, NESs, and they used to be like a $5, you know. So you used to just buy them. And then you used to get home with the NESs. What used to happen is you used to get home, you used to put the cartridge in, you push it in, push the button, you know, flick it down, and it used to flash on, off, on, off, on, off. So you think, oh, God, it's fucked. So then you used to just take it out, and I remember sticking them in a crate, and then I never touched them again. And I think that's what's happened is over the years, well, years ago, I used to just buy all of these. And because it didn't work, I just chuck them in a box, and I've now realised I've got all of these. So I'm going to do something with them. You know, they're not just going to sit there. I need to, well, go through them all, and because I've actually got new cartridge ports for them all. I bought loads years ago, but never did anything with them. So, but I found about 5 Dreamcasts that have got disc problems. I've got to see if I can fix them out. Loads of Master Systems and Mega Drives as well. Found a Sega Saturn. But yeah, it's good old technology I've got laying around. Blimey.
Open up your own little electronics store.
Well, yeah, there's that, and also you could just fix them up and then flog them on one at a time. I mean, the NESs sell. I mean, you could actually just sell a NES broken. People buy them as memorabilia. You know,
well, as long as the outer casing's good enough, like swap out parts and stuff like that. Well, you get people that actually buy them and paint them up and stuff like that. Because I mean, when we went, they've all gone yellow, haven't they? Most of them.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've reboxed up my Dreamcast now.
Oh, have you? Oh, that didn't last long, did it?
Well, no, because we're moving house soon, so I thought I'd box it up. Right. So.
They also lose their colours a fair bit. The Dreamcast.
Yeah, I mean the one I've got is immaculate, so I don't really want to have it out too much, to be honest.
I'm not sure what causes. I mean, a lot of people say it's sunlight.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and is it in direct sunlight? Or...
I believe it's direct sunlight. Yeah, because of the plastic that was used in the 80s and 90s was prone to go yellow, whereas nowadays it's made. It's like it's got a different chemical composition or something.
But I know you can restore them. I mean, those 2 Commodores I pulled out yesterday, they were the late ones, which is the white ones. They're not white though. One of them was white, but had yellow keys. I couldn't work that out.
Weird.
Yeah, really weird. And then the other one was sort of all yellow. But the one I'm actually using here, which I remember, I think I bought this off of eBay. This one's in a box, an original box, and it's perfectly white. But yeah, I don't want this to go yellow, I must admit. But I have heard you can fix them and make them go back to white. But whether they stay that colour, I don't know, because people have done it with Dreamcast. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
That's it really. The only thing left to say, I'm still playing GTA 5, still a great game. I saw that Red Dead's been delayed, hasn't it?
Yes, till next year.
So, which is in some ways quite a good idea, because at least it gives them more chance to bit more polish on it. Also, have they delayed it because of the Scorpio? They want to make sure it can run perfect on that. Who knows, on that one. Yeah, still playing GTA. I still love that game.
Someone actually did mention in something that every single Rockstar game is generally always delayed, and that this shouldn't have been a surprise to anyone.
Well, it's because they actually release their games which don't require fucking 10
after GTA 5's 2 delays, I just expected it. Like, it didn't phase me at all when they announced it. I was like, well, yep, seems about right.
Saying that, actually, I just realised GTA did have a problem on launch, didn't it? Because it was released on the 360 and the PS3. And don't you remember there was no online at first, was there, for 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, I think that was intentional, though. They wanted people to play the single player.
Or was it wanted people to play the story first?
Yeah, and then everyone bum rushed the bloody online the day it opened up, and it crashed the whole bloody thing all the time, didn't it?
Yeah.
Launch was a nightmare. People standing in queues waiting at that first mission. Do you remember? The race.
Queue down the road. It was it's like when a new console comes out. Everyone's standing in the queue.
What I'm still amazed about with GTA 5 is it's still always in the top 10 every week on sales.
It's number 2, isn't it?
It's fucking mad. It really, really is. I mean, I that's got to be a world record. It really has. That a game still selling that well.
I mean, it set a world record on the opening day.
That's amazing.
It sold. It made $1 billion on opening day.
I mean, it is a great game, but it still staggers me how much that game is still selling. It's crazy.
I got to write in my essay for uni about GTA. It was great.
But it's. I mean, I went back to the other night and just put it on, and I was playing as Trevor, and it was like, I mean, I've finished the game once already. I finished it once on the Xbox 360 actually, and I'm playing it on the PS4 because the graphics are slightly better now because it's upgraded because it's on the Xbox One and the PS4.
And the first person view as well, wasn't it, that they added for the next gen versions. Yeah.
That's right. But even when the game's loading, there's so much more to this game. I mean, there's even a micro machines mode in it now for the online. I didn't even know about that, so I'm going to have to check that out at some point.
Dude, don't play that. Just get Micro Machines when it comes out at the end of the month.
Well, yeah.
Are they redoing it, are they?
Yeah, it's out at the end of the month, coming out on all platforms. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, but this is free.
If you already own the game.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's the thing with GTA. All the online is free.
I think everyone owns GTA from the sales of the blooming thing.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but still,
apparently not, because people are still buying it.
Yeah, it was number 2 the other week. I was like, how the hell is it still? It must be just new people coming into the console that missed. I don't know, could have skipped.
What was first? Was it Horizon?
What do you mean?
No, Horizon hasn't been number 1. I think it was number 1 for 1 week, and that's it. Yeah.
I still haven't bought that game. It's holding its price.
Yeah, I want to play Horizon, but again, yeah, it is holding it's still 40 quid. I mean, I went into town today actually. I went into where did I go? I went into CEX. God, they had a Sega Saturn in the window for £110.
Well, CEX and Game are getting into retro stuff now, aren't they? They'll see them selling all the old stuff. Yeah. I went into Game and they were selling some old stuff as well.
Game used to be, Game Station used to sell retro anyway before Game.
But CEX, when I went in there last week, they had Nintendo 64 games, SNES games, Mega Drive, all sorts. They were selling them for like 50 quid.
Yeah, they're really expensive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, a lot of people are jumping on the whole retro bandwagon now.
It's good.
I did it.
You did the
I don't see why anywhere could sort of like justify charging, say, like 50 quid for like a second-hand copy of GoldenEye on the 64, unless it's in like almost immaculate condition.
Yeah, well, the problem with CX as well is they don't really look after their stock on retro stuff, because I've noticed that they've got Super Mario 3 for the NES in the window. Now that's yellow, those in a cardboard box. That ain't gonna be dark yellow for long. It's not sitting in a sunlight window. That's going to end up, And also they put stickers. I've noticed that they put stickers, CEX stickers, on their boxes.
I
used to hate it when they put stickers on cardboard boxes. It used to be like, you absolute filth. Like, you're literally sitting there. That's where I've developed my perfect talent of removing stickers without leaving like the sticky bits behind and stuff. I'm usually pretty good at that because of years of practice of people putting them on bloody cardboard boxes and that.
But you can actually buy a special stuff these days. It's a label remover, The only thing I will say with CEX though is that they've gone big time into the retro. I've got a feeling they're going to cause a crash. And do you know why? Because what will happen is CEX will just buy all this stock, because people will know they will buy it in. And then what will happen is eventually they're going to end up with so much of this shit laying around, they're going to have to drop the price on it. And then what you'll have is you'll have a retro crash to a certain degree. You won't get it on certain stuff like the Castlevanias on the PS1, stuff like that, but I'm talking just the normal common shitware that seemed to have crept up. So, yeah.
A bit like the way back in the day, game used to take in like about 100 copies of like FIFA 12 or something.
Oh God, yeah.
And still be taking them in, and you're like, hold on a second, you haven't shifted like this entire shelf of it, and you're still taking copies in.
And then they're selling them for 50p each.
Yeah, and they're still not selling.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed today when I went into CEX, because I actually bought a game actually. I bought Skyrim for the PS4. I don't know why.
Nice.
Skyrim, mate.
I love Skyrim, man.
Skyrim.
So relaxing.
Yeah, that's why I fancy buying. I want something.
More of a Fallout fan myself, but it was alright.
So, and I noticed that they had absolute untold 360 games in there, because you've got to remember, last generation the 360 was massive, wasn't it?
Yeah, especially in this country. Yeah,
that's right. The PS3 wasn't, and all I noticed when I walked in, millions of PS4 games, not that many Xbox One games because it's not selling that well. Absolute billions of 360 stuff, and I've noticed all the 360 stuff is really dropping to very low.
Yeah.
See, that surprises me, because obviously, yeah, you've got a lot of people that are like, oh, I'll get the next gen and completely sell their entire collection. But then with the Xbox One, basically doing the whole emulation thing with the 360 games, you might as well keep hold of all your 360 games, whack them in the hard drive so it registers that you've got them, and then you've got them on the one as well.
I've got a feeling there's people that don't know about it. Yeah, I really do.
Put it on game boxes.
I think
now.
most gamers.
Yeah, but that's on.
I think
that's
it's
on
just
you.
your average Joes, isn't it?
Yeah, your average Joe's going to go. I mean, every time I go in to see it, which isn't often. Like today, I went in there. There's a guy, and he had most probably 30 games. He was just, trading in. He most probably get 50p each for all that lot. I was quite surprised. I did see Brink in the pile.
Oh, Brink.
Must be worth 10p.
The hype for Brink.
Yeah. So, but as I say, I think a lot of people don't realise that the Xbox One will play the backwards. I know you're saying, they put it on the boxes, but that's only on new stuff. The stuff that goes into CEX is all 5-6 years old stuff, and it's just going there and just sits on the shelf. But good time at the moment if you've got a 360 or the backwards. Good time to buy this stuff because you're getting it cheap.
I mean, I've got a massive 360 collection that's not worth selling because I'll probably get about 10p a game.
Exactly.
So what's the point?
I don't know what a lot of these people are to get rid of stuff, to be honest. It's like, what, you got rid of, like, I don't know, 3 years worth of your shit just so you can have a couple of pints in the pub.
Oh, no, it's crazy. Is that you've played Stunty? Sorry, I was looking at the time.
I've gone off on the... Yeah, I've gone off.
All right, because I haven't actually talked about what I've been playing this week, and I've played quite a lot of games. So I want to get
Just
through.
Skip the ones we already talked about.
Right, so I'm going to skip the ones we've already talked about, which has still left me quite a few games. So Xbox One, I'll start off with. I've been playing some Mass Effect Andromeda this week, getting back into that, and I'm actually really enjoying it. Played it for a few hours. And it seems that the patches that they've put out recently have vastly improved the game. I've not been noticing any issues with, when you're talking to other people. It just seems to run a lot smoother. It just seems a bit more polished. There's less popping and stuff. So I'm actually quite glad that I didn't blast through it when it first came out. So I'm just kind of taking my time with it at the moment. And it's just a fun little game. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I've not played a hell of a lot of it this week, but I've played a few hours of it, and it's still an enjoyable game. PS4 wise, I've been playing Persona 5. Not again this week. Not played a hell of a lot of it. I'm still on the third dungeon or palace, whatever you want to call it. And fuck me, it seems to be taking me forever to do this palace. So you have to open vaults and stuff.
In my opinion, of the 3 I've done, I think that's the shortest one.
I don't think so, man. It just seems to be. It's just dragging. And this I think the worst part of the Persona 5 game is the palaces. Like, the rest of the game is absolutely fantastic, but as soon as it hits a palace, I kind of hit a brick wall. I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do this, and I kind of slow down on playing the game.
I've not made any progress since last time I talked about it. I've only just beaten the third palace myself.
Wow.
I'm busy.
I've also been playing some Battlefield 1 today. I have the season pass, so I thought, you know what, let's play some Battlefield 1. And I actually played it with Euthanasia.
Oh, you told me you don't have the season pass. I thought that's why you were playing with him, was to mooch off his maps.
No, I've got it, so...
Oh, okay. You said you didn't the other week, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, we had a really, really good time on it, actually. We played it for a good few hours this afternoon. The new maps are really, really well done. And I have to say, I'm very impressed that the graphics are holding up on the Xbox One. The thing I am going to say, though, is I've been doing a lot of PC gaming, and I'm now really starting to notice a difference in the frames per second. And before I started PC gaming, this is something I never noticed. And then, because like a lot of the games on my PC run at 120 frames per second, and then I go on the Xbox and it's at 30 frames per second, I'm like, this is like it feels like it's slow motion, and it takes me a couple of minutes just to get used to the dip in frames. But it's still a great game. I had a really good time playing it. I'd like to see more people playing it in the community, to be honest. It's a good fun time. So, Battlefield 1 for the win. So there's that. I'm going to blast through these games. I've been playing quite a bit of Overwatch this week as well, with Collie Wally this weekend. So I've been playing it with him today and yesterday, and his kids and a few other people from the community, and we've been having a good time with it. It's hard to believe that this game is now 1 year old.
I don't know. It feels like people have been going on about it forever.
Does it?
To be honest.
Is it because you don't play it?
Well, no, I traded my copy in.
Oh, that's fair.
What's that? Battlefield 1?
Oh, Overwatch.
Oh, Overwatch. Oh, right, okay.
Because I never really played it, and then basically they were doing a deal of like get Prey for like, I think it was like 20 quid on release day if you traded in Overwatch. I was like, I'm up for that.
Oh, really?
Prey's dropped in price as well, isn't it? I noticed.
Yeah, but Overwatch, they did a free weekend across all platforms as well, so I actually checked it out on the PC, and I was expecting it to be fantastically better on the PC compared to the Xbox, and apart from it running slightly quicker, it's exactly the same. So
I think it is pretty much like done like that. So
yeah,
because it's basically based for sort of competitions and like the so-called e-sport, I guess, and
yeah.
I mean, parity across the platforms, the better for something like that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a fun game to play, and we all were playing as a team. You know, we had 5 of us all in a party, you know, doing it quite tactical. And it is a fun game, but it's one of those games for me that I'm quite happy to play it for an hour. But then after an hour, I kind of get a bit bored of it. It's just very samey.
It is that kind of game, yeah. Again, like, for me, I'd play it for an hour or two, and then after a while, it starts to... I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it starts, like, certain things might start winding me up, like get that fucking power out the fucking sky, come down and fight like a fucking man or woman, or stop sniping, you twats, come over here and fight properly.
And it's one of those typical Blizzard games where, you know, all the characters are very cartoony, and it's kind of aimed at younger people, I feel, which is, I think, is why Colin's kids absolutely love it. But yeah, you know, it seems to be on the Xbox though, because I've been struggling to get people on with me at exactly the same time. This is the one game that Colin loves to play, so I'll just hop on it just to have someone to play with. So, but this weekend's been good for
pretty good legs. Yeah.
But this weekend's been quite good for me because I've been playing that and Battlefield on the Xbox. So,
did you did you download Gwent on the PC yet?
Yes, I have, but I've not played it yet.
Yeah, I played the tutorial. I didn't want to mention it, but there you go.
That's fair. Yeah, so I'm also going to mention that I mentioned Prey, didn't I? So, Humble Bundle for the PC is fucking
Oh.
awesome. And I just want to
Why are
mention
you
this.
sounding depressed?
Everyone goes on about.
I disagree. I'm going to go against you on this one. That
Really?
Humble Monthly, I bought it for Stellaris, and the rest of the games are just not good.
Oh, I've not played the rest of the games. For me, the
Oh.
Humble Bundle was worth it just for Stellaris.
I haven't played that yet, but I've got it.
Oh, okay. So I've been playing Stellaris, and it's like I'm really enjoying
like
it because
Civ?
I love space. Yeah, so it's like Civilization, Revolution, but set in space. So you start off in your solar
interested.
system, and then you have your little ships, and then you kind of explore each solar system, and then you expand your empire. But then you run into other alien races, and this is where it gets quite political. So, like in Civilization, you can come across politics, and you can work together with alien races, or alien races will declare war on you, and you have these epic wars. But then if you are friends with other alien races, you can team up with them to help, and they will help you fight the other aliens who are fighting you, if that makes sense. And it's quite a slow-paced, methodical game, and sometimes it's just quite nice just to sit there and chill out and play. And I'm really enjoying it, and one of the reasons why I am really enjoying it compared to like Civilization, and there's another game called Endless Space, which is quite similar. It's not turn-based, everything just flows, so everything's just happening, so you can set the time to be a slow speed, normal speed, fast, or really, really fast. I just play it on normal. So you really have to think on your feet. So if you start getting attacked, you're like, fuck, I need to build some more spaceships, you know, but they take time to build, and everything's just happening in that kind of real time. Yeah, it's a really, really cool game. So
I've got it downloaded. I'll play it with you in the week then.
yeah, so there's nothing else I can really say on it. I would really, really like to see this sort of game on a console, but I'm not really sure how it would work without a mouse and keyboard. But I'm pretty sure that they could kind of get that to work.
Yeah, I'm sure they ran into those sort of problems when they were developing Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
They got around that.
Okay, right, so next game I've been playing a hell of a lot of, is Star Citizen. Anyone heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard
Star
of it.
Isn't that an old game?
No, it's
Dude, it's not even released yet.
Oh, isn't it? Oh, I'm talking
It's
to someone,
been
I
in
think.
alpha for fucking years.
Oh, right.
It's been an alpha for years. So myself and a load of people from work have been playing it together. About 6 of us.
Nerds.
Yeah, all massive nerds. So basically, it's like it's all first person, but it's like a first person shooter set in a massive universe. But you can get into spaceships and fly around to different planets.
It's pretty much No Man's Sky, but less crap from what I hear.
Yeah, the graphics on it are absolutely stunning for an alpha as well, which I'm amazed about. And they're bringing out a new patch soon where you can land on planets. So at the minute you can't land on planets. So at the minute you've got space, like multiple spaceports, and you can fly around and meet up with your mates because it's basically a space MMO. So even now you can all hook up and party up, find each other, no matter what planet
Party
you're on.
up.
Yeah.
How you gonna? You meet up? Your spaceships go together and dance together, do they?
No, like, so literally you can get different sized spaceships. So there's massive spaceships, like you think of like the Enterprise.
Yeah.
You can get a massive ship like that and get like 10 of your buddies in one ship, and you all have to do different things for the ship to run. So one of you will be like flying it, one of you will be on the thrusters, some of you will be on like different turret guns and stuff like that, and you'll go and do missions together. It's a fucking awesome experience, man, and I've been playing it shitloads the past week, and it is fucking brilliant, and I can't wait for the full game to come out in 10 years' time.
10 years.
Oh, I don't. There's no release date. It was. I think it's the most successful Kickstarter, or one of the most successful Kickstarters.
Oh, it's up there. Yeah.
And I'm excited for it, and it's been in development for about 5 years already. But what you have to think about, it's been in development for 5 years with a very small team, and now the team
I want to
has
say it's
grown
been
over
longer
time.
than that.
It's not been longer, but to put it into context, Ghost Recon Wildlands took 5 years to make with a massive team with a huge budget. So this game is going to be even bigger with a massive universe. It's always going to be expanding. And this is one of the reasons why I built a PC in the first place, to play different games with an epic scope and to be one of those people that are on that kind of cutting edge. And, you know, it's fucking great. It's a really great experience and I've been really enjoying it. So that's all I want to say on that. It's fucking awesome. The only thing I don't like about it is you have to pay at the moment. If you want different ships, you need to actually buy them with real money, which I'm not doing. So there. The next game I've been playing is Steel Division Normandy 44 on the PC.
World War II game?
It's a World War II game. Sly, you can play this on the Steam share if you wish.
Ooh.
So basically,
what's it called?
Steel Division Normandy 44. Basically,
Right, okay.
it's a real-time strategy game set obviously in World War II, and you basically fighting the Germans by, you know, setting out your troops and your tanks and your aeroplanes and on this map, and you basically just fight each other, and it's all just pure tactics, you know, just sorting out the front line. You get missions to go and destroy like MG nests and stuff like that. It's really, really cool, and the reason why I've got this is it's by the same people who made Stellaris, and I was chatting to them about this when we went to Rezzed, you know, a few months back, guys, and they were showing off at Rezzed, and I got really excited for it there, because I had a go on it and stuff, so I pre-ordered it fucking ages ago, and it got released a couple of weeks ago, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't think it's super popular, but I just want to throw it out there that I'm really enjoying it. So that's all I can say.
Alright,
really.
I'll install it.
Well
I'll
done,
have a
Elliot.
look.
You're sounding a bit tired there, Elliot. What time is it there?
4:04 AM.
Oh, was it really?
Wow.
Wow, you might as well get up.
I know. Can we wrap this up?
We won't be long.
Have you got school in the morning?
No, I go to university.
Well, yeah, university. Do you still do?
University semester finished last week.
Oh, right, okay. So you don't have to get up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
last, I've only actually played in the last couple of weeks. I've only played one other game, and it's called Tabletop Simulator for the PC.
I actually installed this. I haven't played it yet.
So basically, it's as nerdy as you think it is. It's basically simulates a tabletop, but with all the mods and stuff, you can play any board game that's come out in the world and play it online with people.
That's
Can I
not
play
too
Coup?
bad.
And it's like 15 quid.
Can I
Yeah,
play
because I was
Coup?
going to say,
That's
what
a
were
great
the...
game.
Oh, it was the Hasbro game thing, wasn't it, on the 360 that sort of like let you do like... Because they brought Monopoly and stuff out, didn't they, on last gen?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you can play Coup.
You can play anything, any board game. So I've been
Alright.
playing the Final Fantasy board trading
Can you
card
play
game on this.
Talisman?
Yes.
Probably.
Oh, Talisman was a classic.
Actually, you
Webby,
can
I'll
buy
tell you what.
Talisman on Steam for like £2 at the moment anyway. But yeah, you can play on Tabletop Simulator.
I tell you what, Webby. I was talking about Coup earlier. I will buy Tabletop Simulator so I can play Coup with you.
Yeah, I'll play it with you. So yeah, it's
'Cause
really,
right
really
now,
cool.
I'm just using your copy.
So I think for the price, you know, like 15 quid, and you can literally play any board game because they're all in the Steam Workshop with your friends. I think that's a bit of a bargain. So I just wanted to throw it out there. It is really, really cool.
I'm gonna buy it now.
So, there you go.
You sold him on it straight away.
Just
Well,
because I saw you could play Coup, which is my favourite card game ever, and I'm like, oh, I'm in. Oh, what? It's $20 here.
So I'm not sure what game's been shown on the stream at the moment, but I just chose a video at random on YouTube, some sort of zombie kind of card game. But yeah, so that's really, really cool. So that's all the games I've played this week. Any questions?
Speaking of questions, let's just go straight onto the Facebook questions, and then we can all go to bed.
Let's do it.
Oh, should we mention? I mentioned it before we start recording. I think we'll do next week. We're going to do the show later in the week because E3 is happening, and we want to be current and talking about all the news.
All right, yeah. So we're probably going to record probably midweek, I think, if we can all get together.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's
I'll be
Microsoft
down.
Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that in the evening?
It's
Well, for us.
EA, Bethesda, and Microsoft all on Sunday actually.
Is that in the evening though?
Yeah, it's overnight,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
So we'll probably
Right, and
record
then-
Monday or Tuesday, I think,
and then-
depending on my shifts.
Yeah, because I know Bethesda is at like 10 a.m. my time, which is 3 in the morning for you. So
That's a bit like
Oh.
Sony's one. Sony's one's always about 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm on night
it's
shifts
2
this
a.m.,
weekend,
I
actually.
think,
So,
Sony's.
I'll be watching E3 at work. Nice. So
Yeah,
I'll
you'll
actually
be
be
well
awake.
away, mate.
Yeah,
Mm.
nice. That's actually pretty sorted. Oh, I'm happy now. Right. Questions.
I got rostered on for work.
Well, let's do the questions at Facebook. Right.
Right.
Robin
Speed
Fahy
round,
says, "Is anyone interested in Tekken 7 and who's getting it?"
Played it. It was
We
decent.
covered it, didn't we?
No.
Okay.
In the early part of the show.
Okay.
I know I've got it, you've got it, Elliot, and Dan's got it.
Well, it's
sorry,
not my
you
copy. I
played
just
it,
played
yeah,
it.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Dan's picked it up as well.
Next question. Tom Harding says, "Friday the 13th, yay or nay?"
Now,
quite
shit
like-
things.
I quite like the look of it. I've watched some videos of it actually. I quite like the style of it, but it's £30. I'm not paying £30.
If you're gonna get it, I've heard don't buy the Xbox One version because it's the most broken of the three.
I think
what I've
they
heard.
have brought a patch out, or recently they've mentioned they're
Oh,
trying
really?
to get a patch out for it, because it's the matchmaking that's an issue, isn't it? Because it's an
Yeah.
always online game at the moment. There's no single player mode, although one will be added.
So how does it work then? I don't understand. I've not even looked into the game at all. Are you
Well,
just trying to
you
hide
just-
from Jason, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Well,
try
one person's Jason, and the rest are the like the camp counsellors, and
Oh,
obviously
okay.
can't just escape, and Jason's trying to hunt them down.
Yeah, but you do have to do certain things. You can't just escape. You have to do
Yeah.
certain things to escape. So, it looks all right. Actually, I quite like the look of it. I've heard I've seen a few glitches and bugs, but it's just the price. Why has a digital game come out at £30 when all digital games used to be 15 quid?
Because
this-
money.
Yeah, but is this what's happening now? Is it all digital games are now creeping up now?
Blame
They need- I mean,
Brexit, mate.
Wasn't this a Kickstarter game as well?
I don't know.
Or
It's
was
like
it
Rim.
crowdfunded? I think I'm sure it was crowdfunded in some way.
It's like Rim's come out. That's like £30 as well.
Rim? Don't you mean rhyme?
Rhyme, Rim, whatever.
Rim job.
Rachel. Rim Rachel.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because that's actually does have a physical release. Rhyme does. Rim, Rhyme.
Rhyme. Oh, I've picked it up on PC today.
Oh, did you know how much
Yeah.
that cost you on PC?
Didn't cost me anything, mate.
Oh, okay. But one of your special sites.
One of my special, one
okay.
of my friends
yeah.
got it for me. Yeah,
Hooked you
yeah,
up.
Mate, John.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
what I
my
say.
mate,
Yeah, John.
my mate Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So just say that. Just say,
Yeah.
my mate Dave.
All right.
Got it from
For the
mate
full
Dave.
sense of transparency, I might have booted up Tabletop Simulator and installed the coup add-on already.
Well done. Right, shall we do another question?
Yep.
Okay, so John Mulholland, are Phil Spencer and Xbox being too nice about the so-called console war this generation? They seem to be rolling over and allowing Sony to have all the exclusive third-party deals. I want to see Microsoft come out fighting at E3 and give me a reason to bother buying a Scorpio. Hear, hear, John. I totally agree.
I also agree as a self-professed Xbox fanboy back in the day, but yeah, I actually agree.
I think they have got like exclusivity on one AAA or one of the third-party games. Just don't know which one it is yet. There's rumours about it being Assassin's Creed and stuff. But then again, thinking back, the last two Assassin's Creeds I think have had Sony exclusive stuff, haven't they?
Could be Tomb Raider again, but
I just think
never know.
I just think Sony have been more ruthless this generation than they were last generation, and I think
Yeah.
that's why they've grabbed all the exclusives. And I think Xbox
Well-
would like them, but I don't think they've got a lot of choice unless they really push some money into it. And
Xbox is probably right down on the list of things that make Microsoft money, whereas I think PlayStation is Sony's main breadwinner.
people say, "Oh, Sony have nicked all the exclusives and the rest of it." Xbox did it last generation, so don't
Yeah,
give
they
it all
did.
of that.
I mean,
They did. Yep.
Xbox last gen even had console exclusive JRPGs, which is unheard of.
From well-renowned studios as well that were signed up just to make games for Xbox. Like Mistwalker was an Xbox studio.
Yeah.
Like,
Lost Odyssey.
Speaking of which, I will briefly say this. Are you aware, Webby, that the Final Fantasy VII remake is ages away?
I know. It doesn't bother me, mate. It doesn't bother me.
Pretty much, yeah, it basically looks like they've scrapped all development of the game as so far, and they're trying to like restart it from scratch with and they're trying to at Square Enix are trying to find new people to help with it.
Wow.
Because they were working with CyberConnect, weren't they? The ones behind like Azura's Wrath and a few other sort of games like the Naruto games, which look amazing. They just don't play that well. But yeah, so there's obviously been some sort of like difference of opinion, or they just actually realised like, oh shit, this is probably our most well-known title. If we don't treat this properly, we're going to get lynched.
Yeah, it still won't be as good as the original in my eyes anyway, so nothing they can do will be perfect.
So, yeah, so we won't see any of that at E3 or anything, I don't think.
No, we won't.
We
won't see it at all. Right, last question then from Russell Soanes. Now that Xbox One's integral streaming platform Beam has become Mixer, it's also bringing in co-streaming. Up to 4 people split screen at once. Could this be something the Mojo community may consider for content? I know nothing about this. What does it all mean?
They'll probably talk about it quite a bit during the conference, I think, because isn't this new Mixer thing? I think obviously Twitch is the streaming site. Like, there's so many people that have got communities on there and like special emotes and stuff they unlock for their subscribers and all this other sort of like weird stuff that goes on. But yeah, I think this Mixer thing can actually supposedly stream in like 4K and stuff like that, which I'm not too sure if Twitch actually can.
Yeah.
And then you've got like this multiple screening thing. I mean, fair enough, it sounds interesting. Whether or not you'll be able to keep an eye on.
So what's it going to use? The Kinect or something, or?
No, I think it's just using.
I think they're adding webcam support.
Oh, so it's just literally like 4 people and it splits into 4 boxes, so you just see what they're playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay. That sounds
quite
interesting.
You watching your mates playing a 4-player split-screen game, but you're just like watching.
So, like, if all 4 of us were playing Battlefield and someone was watching the stream, they'd see all 4 of our viewpoints.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
It just depends if it takes off or not.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, I think that's really good.
And it does set them apart from Twitch normally, but I just think Twitch is a bit too. We'll wait and see, but like Twitch is so well established, it's going to be very hard. Like, obviously the bubble bursts on everything eventually. I mean, we're slowly seeing it happen with like YouTube possibly.
Well, the normal massive out there that aren't big gamers, I don't think you ever lose YouTube now. It's just the hardcore gamers are trying to move on, isn't it?
Cool. That's all the questions, guys. Anything else you wanted to add? It's been a long show this week, just over 2 hours.
Really?
Yes.
That's because I've come on. You'll see me in another month. I'll see what else I can drag out for the Commodore 64.
I'm going to be honest, I'm just looking up how to set up Tabletop Simulator for Coup now.
Awesome. So, Elliot, when are we going to play some Battlefield 4 on PC?
I guess tomorrow for you and today for me.
We'll sort something out.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, dudes.
Oh, look at this. This is brilliant.
Well, okay, so we're going to end the show here anyway. It's been awesome. Thank you to the 4 people watching on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
And not watching the charity concert thing.
Fuck that shit. Baseball's on.
Whoa, don't say that.
I'm saying it. Anyway.
I do not agree with your statement.
Anyway, that's the end of the show. So for me, Mark Webb, Gamer Tag, PSMD, Steam ID, Webby 3 and 7.
Who's the best card game ever made? Sly Ahmed.
Sensei Switch.
And for me, #1 Stuntmaster.
So thank you very much. Don't forget to visit the website mojo-interactive.net. Follow us on Twitter at mojo_int and facebook.com/groups/mojo interactive. And I will put a link to the Discord in the show notes. Please join. It is awesome. So thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.